CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. More and more, our libraries are transforming to meet the needs of the communities they serve, and the Central Library in downtown is no exception. On any given day, you'll find dozens of teens hanging out at Teen Central and using the brand new Imagine You Digital Learning Lab. With us today is Tanya Burton, Youth Services Consultant, and John Hilton with the Safe to Be Smart program at the Central Library. Thank you both for joining us. Let's just start, for anyone that's not been to Teen Central, what is Teen Central?
Teen Central is a magical place set aside just for teens. It was designed for teens ages 13 through high school, and it is not for adults, it's not for young kids, so it's their own place. And it's very unique that a library has such a large, wonderful place just for teens. And we're very fortunate that we also have dedicated young adult librarians who they don't want to be anywhere else than Teen Central, helping the teens find what, whether it's a book to read, help them with school assignments, and, offering different programs for them. So it's really just a fantastic place. And I think, just by seeing the teens who keep coming back, that it shows that they really enjoy the space too.
Mm-hmm. And John, what is Safe to Be Smart?
Safe to Be Smart is a program designed for teens. It was created by Derek Coley, and what it's designed to do is give teens a place to come, a safe haven where they can come and get mentored, get life skills and all types of things that teens need when they're young and have questions. And you need someone there for them to bounce ideas off of, and that's what we're there for.
Mm-hmm. And that happens at Teen Central
Yes,
as well.
every day.
And then you've got something brand new, Imagine You. You want to talk about that a little?
Sure. Imagine You started several years ago. It originally came from the Chicago Public Library, where they started a U Media Center. So U Media is the national name for the digital learning labs. Imagine You is the title that our teens wanted to give our center. So it's a youth-led program. So we have input from our teens on everything from the name, the design of our logo, the color of chairs that we got, everything from beginning to end.
So they had some input in that.
They have input in it every day.
How did this come about? How did it get funded? Is this a grant?
It is. Right now it's a grant program. Several years ago, Dr. Brian Bailey from Nazareth College came to us with this idea. And Dr. Bailey runs several movie camps at Nazareth each summer, and he has a big part in the Rochester Teen Film Festival. And he had heard about U Media at the Chicago Library, and he had visited the site there and knew that Rochester needed it, that the teens needed something like this, some place to go to where they could be creative and explore digital media. Mm-hmm. So he brought it to the library and asked if we would partner with them, and of course we said yes, we would love to partner with you, and that was the beginning probably about 3 years ago.
Okay. What sort of equipment is in there?
Well, we have, we polled the kids, we surveyed them to see what they would like, because we want this space to be for them. As adults, sometimes we think we know what teens like, but sometimes you have to actually talk to them. And what they decided was they wanted music production, animation, photography, all the things that kids are interested in now, and we wanted to provide that for them.
So we have everything from green screens, video cameras, digital cameras. We have an animation stand. We have keyboards. We have MacBook Pro laptops that they can use. We have some larger desktop Macs and some Dells. So all kinds of equipment that they can come and use and explore it.
Okay. We actually have a video to show of kids using the space and kind of in their own words of how they're enjoying it. Let's take a look at this video.
As a kid, we've all had dreams.
What I want to be when I grow up, I want to be a rapper and a studio engineer. So I can produce my own beats and stuff like that, make my own music. I want to be kind of like an entrepreneur, maybe start my own clothing line.
We all had visions of a career and lifestyle.
I want to be a graphic designer, if not a computer graphics designer.
Well, I want to be a couple of things, a filmmaker. artist, design things, you know, create music, producer, you know, just a little bit of everything. I strive for everything in the arts, you know. It's a little bit of my passion in life.
Somewhere down the line, we lost sight of that.
For a career, I want to be an Air Force pilot. Since I was a little kid, I always liked airplanes. I've been kind of addicted to them. I studied the Air Force and everything like that. I just think they're really cool.
I want to be a nurse because I like to help people. And yeah, I want to be science specific though. I want to be one of those nurses that help elderly people. I'm ready. I want to be a nurse so bad.
When I get older, I want to be a stenographer because one day I was in class and my teacher, we were looking up like job careers and stuff to do like essays and stuff like that. So I saw a stenographer and she told me though it's a person who types in the courtroom.
Here at Imagine You, we take hold of our children's dreams, cultivating and developing their skills and visions. This is Imagine You.
That was very well done. One of the things that comes across is the level of confidence that these kids have. Are you surprised at the talents that come out once they start using the equipment in there?
I'm not surprised at all. I spent a lot of time with the teens, and I knew that they were talented, and they just needed an outlet to show the world what they can do, and that's what Imagine You does for them. But I'm not surprised at all. We have a lot of talented youth in Rochester. They just need, you know, an opportunity to show it.
And all you have to do is talk to a few teenagers to know that they have all this stuff inside of them, and they're just looking for a place to let it out.
And can anyone come in and use that, or is there a set schedule, or you know, are there classes that are organized that they must take before they can go in?
Yes. We're actually setting up workshops, so we want the kids to learn how to use the equipment first, to be proficient in it, so once they do go and create something, they can eventually down the line show other kids how to do it. And we definitely want them to understand that the equipment is for them, you know, and we want you to learn how to, you know, take that equipment and do great things with it. So we definitely, you know, want them to do that.
But anyone is welcome to come in and register for any of our classes and, you know, play around. We work a lot with Justin Ortiz from Generation News. So, you know, and some days he'll just come in with his cameras and he'll grab some teens, and a lot of on-the-job learning happens that way.
Yep.
What are some of the projects that some of the teens are working on right now?
Well, we have some teens coming in. One of the teens you saw on the video is really a good lyricist, and he comes in and he works with Justin a lot. We have a lot of kids coming in. Music was one of the things that they attracted to really fast, because a lot of the teens were already involved in music, and this was just a great venue to come in and polish their skills and everything like that. So we have a lot of musicians and artists coming in, and a lot of teens that are doing drawing and editing and putting their drawings into the computer and digitally, you know, manipulating them and stuff like that. So we're getting there, and we do a lot of photography too. Photography is a big thing with kids nowadays.
We have several teens who are interested in animation. So in May we have Animatus Studios is coming in. They're going to do some workshops with the teens on how to create some animated works. We have a young lady who's really interested in graphic design, so she's working on some graphic design items. And some of our teens recently worked together to enter an edible books contest that the Central Library had. So they came together and they created an edible cake using the book Coraline.
So it sounds like really anything that they imagine, you know, they can come in and create there. When you talk about connected learning, what does that mean, and how does that apply to Imagine You?
Okay. Connected learning is a theory that when a learner is interested in something, then that's when really meaningful learning happens, and that's when people get when they get passionate and they get excited about something, they just dive right into it. And connected learning is really a way to connect things that we learn at home, at school, at the library, maybe in other organizations, and really just centering it around what your individual interests are.
And you guys have traveled to some of the other U Media centers in other cities. Tell us about that experience and how you guys share information across the programs.
That's really been great, because part of this grant is you are required to travel to different sites. So the first site that we went to was Chicago, where this is based. We've been to Miami, we went to Pittsburgh, we've been to Washington, and so we go and have convenings a couple times a year, and everyone who has a digital learning lab through UMedia, we talk about the things that we've learned, the mistakes that we've made, and what we learned from those mistakes, and really share everything together.
How does our program here differ from some of the other sites you've seen?
Well, they're different, you know, based on where you're at. I mean, a learning lab in Miami might be similar or different to Rochester, depending on what the teens want. In Miami, they might want something totally different than they want in Rochester. It's going to be similar, but it may be altered a little bit. The things in Rochester, kids might want a little bit something different, and we try to provide that for them.
And one of the things that our area has that they didn't have in many of the other learning labs that I saw was a dedicated teen space already. Many of the libraries that have a UMedia lab, this is their first teen space, where at the Central Library we've had a teen area for many years. So that was an advantage that we had over some of the areas. And we also have an amazing group of teens from the city who really want to learn, and an amazing group of mentors. I mentioned before, we have Justin Ortiz, we have Joe Mangano, so we have mentors who have already done this in other places before, and they're bringing it to the library and sharing it out. I think in some of the other centers, this is a learning grant, it's a planning grant, so they're really doing a lot of different learning and planning than we are, and they maybe haven't been able to implement as quickly as we have. Not that we don't have, haven't had a lot to learn. We have, but we have a solid basis of a fantastic teen area that the teens come to and enjoy every day.
What are some of the other programs that Safe to Be Smart has at Teen Central, or some of the other programs at Teen Central in general?
Well, we've done. I've done a kayaking trip one time, and that was great. The kids loved that. It was something different that they had never done. They were a little skeptical, but once we got out there, they loved it and enjoyed it. We do a literacy day at Bill's Camp every year, which the kids love. We go there and meet the players. We do a tour of the campus. The kids love that. And they definitely like to see the players and see that the players are interested in their literacy. And they enjoy that. And we try to take them places they've never been before and see things they've never been seen before, because it allows them to know that there's other things out there than what they do every day, so we try to expand their minds a lot,
We also have lots of author visits that come in. Our teen librarians really are on the pulse of what is hot out there in teen literature. So they're bringing in authors to talk to the kids and talk about their whole process of writing and how they got their stories and how the teens can get their stories out. Every year there's the Teen Book Festival, which the libraries help sponsor, and it's at Nazareth in May every year. And we usually try to get in an author from that and take teens to the Teen Book Festival. Again, like John said, try to give them as many different experiences as we can inside the library, but then outside of the library as well.
John, you wrote a blog about a teen that you had an experience with several years ago that you said in the article that, you might have overlooked him. He kind of hid within his hoodie. Can you tell us about that experience?
Well, Tony reminded me a lot of myself. I was a shy kid growing up, and a lot of kids are for whatever reason, and I kept to myself a lot, but eventually I broke out of that. And Tony kind of reminded me of how I was, and how if you had someone there that attached themselves to you and wanted you to express yourself, and me kind of taking him under my wing and allowing him to be comfortable around me, I think it really helped him break out of his shell a little bit. We could see gradually that he was becoming more of an outgoing person. When we first met him, he wore a hood. He hid under it, almost like I said, it would turn him invisible. He hid, and we definitely tried to get Tony out of his normal routine of just walking in the teen center, putting his hood on, and sitting at a computer. I would go and talk to him and try to get him out of that zone, and it really worked because he allowed us in his life a little bit and a little bit more in depth of what he was going through, and allowed us to, kind of connect on a personal level, and because of it, he gained a job at the library, and he's turned into such a great young man that it's been a great pleasure to know him. So it was a wonderful experience.
That's a wonderful story. Why do you guys think it's so important that we stay connected with our youth?
I think it's important because we were youth one time, and we've had issues, and at that time, you might not have had anyone to talk to. And I think it's important because if they see someone who is definitely interested in what they have to say and who they are, they're more susceptible to open up and be open to what you're trying to do for them. I mean, you can go and try to help someone, but if they don't trust you and they don't see you as a person that they can open up to, they might just bypass you and they might just go off and do their own thing or get in trouble. We just want to, open the doors for them so they can walk in and just, and know that they're accepted and that they're wanted and that they're have great abilities inside them to do what they want to do. And we try to do that for them the best way we can.
Do you find it hard to build that trust at first? Is it
Yes, it can be hard sometimes. I mean, sometimes you might not want to tell anybody your life story. It might be personal to you, but we want little snippets here and there of what's going on in your life. Maybe we can, help you in some kind of way. But definitely, I definitely enjoy interacting with the teens. It's something that definitely makes me a better person too.
You mentioned that you have the visiting authors. Do you have anything specifically that you want to mention for the calendar coming up?
Right now, we're really focusing on the animation workshops that we have coming up in May, and of course the Teen Book Festival, which is at Nazareth.
Do kids need to register for those?
They don't. They just need to, to stop in, and we don't have the dates yet, but they can call the library, and we can take their information.
What happens at the Teen Book Festival exactly?
Oh, the Teen Book Festival is amazing. Yeah. And I will say that I, at the heart, am a children's librarian. So the first time I went to Teen Book Festival, I thought, oh, what's the big deal? It is amazing. It just blew my mind. The morning begins. They have about 30 authors that come, and there is a parade. And marching band and cheerleaders and everything. The authors arrive, they walk on a red carpet, and the teens go crazy for them. It's amazing. And they come in and they do different things in the morning to introduce the authors. Sometimes they do a game show, sometimes they do some questions. But like Imagine You, there are a lot of teens who are involved in it. Teens get to help. There's a teen assigned to each author to show them around the campus and work with them throughout the day, make sure the author has everything that they need. And the authors do different workshops with the teens, and then at the end there's a book signing. And teens will stand around for an hour waiting for their favorite author to sign their book. It's amazing. It's really great to see because you hear so many negative things about teens, and really there's so many positive things that are going on in and around Rochester with teens, and Teen Book Festival is just one of them.
The teens treat the authors like rock stars, and I love that because, that's what they should do. I mean, so many times we glorify rappers and all these other entertainers, but I mean, authors are the real ones sometimes that can reach your kid and open up their imagination. So I love the way the teens are just so enthused about being at Teen Book Festival. I think it's great.
Do you have any programs specifically geared towards writing for those authors, budding authors at the library?
Well, a lot of times we have the authors visit. Some of the teens' favorite authors visit, and they'll come and talk to the teens and tell them the story of how they got into writing and help them with writing and stuff like that. So we always enjoy that. We have Tony Maldonado, who came and he wrote Secret Saturdays. And he came and the kids were just enthralled with his story that he told, and they gathered around him and just listened to him for hours, and it was great.
And it seems like Rochester has its fair share of local authors, and we can find some of them at the Teen Book Festival, is that right?
Yes, there are some local authors at the Teen Book Festival,
Who are some of the standout ones that people might be familiar with?
I know Terry Truman is always there, Lori Halse Anderson, Anne Brashears, who did Sister of the Traveling Pants. This is her first year that she's going to be there. There are...
It sounds like there's a lot.
There are, and I can't even think of like the whole list is in front of my face, and I can't think of any of the authors.
And can kids purchase books once they get there? Or?
You can. Barnes & Noble is always there on site, and so they can purchase the books and have them signed by the authors.
Okay, and libraries from all over kind of converge on this, and some of the libraries offer transportation. Is that right?
There are library systems from all over the state. There's been people from Canada who come, from other states who come, and schools are a big part of it too. Teen Book Festival is put on by many different school districts and the public libraries in Nazareth, so it's really a huge effort.
Okay, so the teens at Teen Central, you say that they kind of keep to their own space, but do they also set an example for the younger kids in the library?
When I work primarily in the children's room, and so when the kids are getting 11 years old, 12 years old, and they might have an older friend or an older brother or sister, they do look to the time when they can go down into Teen Central and to hang out and mess around in Teen Central. So they do definitely set an example for them.
And we expect a lot out of our teens.
Right.
Being with mentors, and a lot of our teens are come every day, Monday through Friday. So they get a lot of face time with us, and they know when they come in, we expect a lot of them. We expect respect and manners and things like that. Anything that you would need in the outside world, life skills.
Okay, and Tanya, you brought something along with you that's geared towards the younger kids. Do you want to talk about that and show us what you have?
Sure. Another project that we are doing at the Central Library that we're very proud of is called Raising a Reader. And this is a project that we do with different partners. Two of our partners right now are Peter Castle Family Resource Center and ABC Head Start. And what we do is work with parents to train them on book cuddling with their children. Early literacy is so important, and for me, it's very exciting to see that the mayor is very involved in early literacy, and the school district is involved with it, and they have the 500 books before kindergarten program. So it's just so important for a variety of reasons, for bonding with your child, for helping your child with brain development, and then of course success later on in school. So what we do is we work one-on-one with parents, and we encourage them to share books with their children and give them tips on how to do it. I'm a working mom. I have 3 children. I know it's not always easy to fit in reading time, but there are different ways, different things that you can do throughout the day to share some early literacy tips with your baby, and different ways to talk with your baby, point out different things. And the red bags help. So each week, your preschool teacher or Head Start teacher gives you a new red bag, and inside the bag there are 3 to 4 books that you can share. And there's some great books, like Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, Rosie's Walk. So in each bag there's 3 to 4 books, and we encourage parents just to look through the books with their children and share the books with them every day. And they get to keep these books at home for a whole week. And then the next week they bring their red bag in and they swap it out for another one. So every week they're getting different books in their home. And it's great because it not only works for the child who's enrolled in that preschool class, but everyone in their home can share the books too.
Okay. How about over the summertime? I know that there's the Rock Read initiative to help kids, get excited about reading and keep reading throughout the summer. Tell us about Rock Read and how that works.
Rock Read is actually through the school district and through the libraries. So the kids are asked to read a book throughout the summer and fill out a form, and it depends on the age what they're being asked for. And then they're given different incentives. There might be Red Wings tickets or prizes from other local organizations for the kids, just to try and, excite them a little bit. But at the libraries, we also have a summer reading program where we ask kids to read at least 20 minutes every day. And the Central Library and all of the 10 branches are doing the same program this year, and we're partnering with the rec centers. So kids can sign up either at their rec center or at the libraries. Every day they read, and once a week they can come in and get prizes, and then they can also earn larger prizes. Some of the prizes that we've had in the past are tickets to Strong Museum, Genesee Country Village, Sea Breeze.
Okay. And how about for Safe to Be Smart? What's in store for the summer? Any big field trips coming up?
Yes, well, we actually, the kids have been asking to go back on the kayaking trip. I know I said that before, but it's something that they really loved. It was, and Tony was one of the teens that actually came on that trip with us, and he wore the hood. It was 90-degree weather, and he wore the hood. And it was all males, and we all had this camaraderie that we all got together, and we went out in this water and enjoyed ourselves. And Tony eventually came out of the hoodie and started to not only talk with me, but other peers of his, and it was a great experience for them. And we want to do that again. We want to do some roller skating. We want to promote a little healthiness and stuff like that. So that's great.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the work that you guys do. To learn more about programs and events at Teen Central and Imagine You, you can call 428-7300. You can also visit libraryweb.org. Thanks for joining us on this edition of CityWise. I'm Tiana Stevens, and we'll see you next week.